First item on the agenda is the moment of silence for veteran Freeman Short. Freeman Short is a veteran who was residing in Milford at the time of his untimely death aboard the Lily Jean that sunk off of the coast of Massachusetts on Saturday, January 31st, 2026. You may have seen it. It was on newscasts for quite some time. May he rest in peace, and could I have a moment of silence, please? Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the signing of the warrant, gentlemen.
Yes, Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we sign the warrant.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That is unanimous. Next item is approval of regular session minutes of January 29th, 2026.
Yeah. Motion to approve the regular session minutes of January 29th, 2026.
I would second that, Mr.
And
Chairman.
that is unanimous. Public hearings, we did have two public hearings scheduled with National Grid and Central Gas and Market. They've both been continued to March. Scheduled appointments, Human Resources Director concerning the IAC rates. Welcome.
Hi there.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Well, the Insurance Advisory Committee met a couple of times. We went back and forth with Blue Cross, as we always do every year. And they tried to start off with a 14.4% increase or a 10.4% increase, depending on whether or not we had included the popular GLP-1 medications. Those are very, very expensive. And we found with a little bit of research that most municipals, the overwhelming majority, are dropping them because they're just driving up the prices too much. I also reached out to the MMHR community because we wanted to see where we were falling with the rate increases. And what we finally negotiated at 9.9%, which sounds outrageous, was actually one of the better rates based on the feedback that we got. We were hearing a lot of 15, 18, 20% increases. So we swallowed hard and voted on the 9.9%, which keeps the plans that we currently have in place, minus the GLP-1s. And that was the bad news. The dental insurance only, we're self-insured for that, but we have to cover the small administrative increase and small utilization increase. So that increase was only 3%. That's a pretty small nut compared to the other ones. The good news is that we have a lot of folks that are signing up for our Access Saver plan, which is the least expensive of the Blue Cross plans. It's high deductible, and it can be coupled with a health savings account, which some folks are using. So we're pushing that. It isn't a first dollar benefit thing, but I think the folks that fit into that category are taking advantage of the much lower cost. So that's good. The other bright side to this is that the optional plans that we have, so we have critical illness, short-term disability, hospital insurance, and accident insurance. And they were with, minus the hospital insurance, they were with Colonial. Well, we've switched over to the Hartford. If you recall, we upped our Hartford Group Life from $10,000 up to $50,000. And they've been a very good partner with us. So they are going to take over all those optional insurances. And they've dropped their prices a little bit. Some of the benefits are actually better, and we did add the hospital insurance for that. So they also are offering no medical questions in this enrollment. So it's guaranteed issue. So anybody who wants to jump on, even if they're not on right now, can do that with no questions asked. So they can take advantage of that if they haven't already. So that's about as good as it gets on the bright side. I wish I had better news on the increase for the medical insurance. So the memo that I gave you shows you the price increases and highlights some of the things I just talked about. So the IAC is recommending all of that.
Okay.
Question, the people that are choosing the higher deductible, what is the new deductible that they're choosing?
It
1,000?
will only went up $50 each, so it's $1,700 for the individual, and I believe it's $4,000 for the family.
Thank
And
you.
we have not moved our family and individual deductibles, by the way. On the HMO Blue New England, it's still $250 for an individual and a total of $750 for the family. in the real world, outside of government, that is not something you usually see. Deductibles are usually much higher. So we have a very good plan. We have great coverage.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you do. Excuse me, Mr. Chair, just a couple of comments, thank you. First of all, I want to thank you and the committee and all the work that goes into this, especially today. You know, and again, it's not just a local Milford problem or a regional problem, it's a national problem. You know, health insurance has skyrocketed. You have the cost of medical care, of labor, drug costs, you know, all that comes into play. So I think you're doing what you can do for, you know, the employees and whatnot to make it more comfortable for them. And I just want to say that we appreciate that and thank you very much.
Thank you.
What's up, Mr. Chairman? I have no questions.
As usual, you do a fantastic job. I mean, 9.9 is scary,
Yeah.
but I know other communities are faced with even a higher percentage,
Yeah, that's true.
from what I've read in newspaper articles. So,
Yeah.
the fact that you negotiated a more favorable rate, I think, it's really commendable. Do you have any questions of us,
I don't
Kristen?
think so.
No?
You just need a vote for?
Yeah.
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 A motion, Mr.
We
Chair,
do,
to
yeah.
accept these rates that were brought to us by the committee and HR director.
I'm second, Mr. Chairman.
It's unanimous.
Okay. Do we have, is it a separate item?
Yeah, so you go right into it,
Okay.
if you're done with that.
Yeah,
We're done with
okay.
that. Yeah, okay.
The other piece is more of a transactional kind of thing. We have two EAPs, actually. One happens to come with our workers' comp insurance that was introduced earlier, I guess, sometime last year. However, the one that we had voted on 2 years ago, I think, with Modern Assistance, they lean heavily into behavioral health, and we've received very good feedback about them. And so we partner with them on many things, including on administrative referrals. And their new contract is good for 2 years. It went up a very small percentage from $2 to $2.10 a contract. So if that's acceptable, the IAC also recommended that.
Any questions?
They don't, see, we just got it.
Motion?
Motion to accept the Massachusetts Public Employee Service Agreement.
I'd second that, Mr. Chairman.
That is unanimous.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Chris.
gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Next item on the agenda is the Parks and Recreation Administrator update.
King of
Hello there, James.
Playgrounds.
So, as I have in the past, I'd like to come to the Select Board just to go over some of the successes within the last year. Most of you probably heard of them, but there's some interesting attendance numbers and things like that that I wanted to share with you. So this year, or this past year, 2025 pool season, the total pool attendance was 10,331 people. 5,944, which were kids, 2,690, which were residents, and 697, which were non-residents. We expect those numbers to keep going up. The first year we were open, it was a abbreviated season because we got open a little late with the construction and went up 2,000, people out in 2 weeks. So we're averaging a good 700 to 900 people a week, depending on the weather. And we didn't have many rain days this week. Peter Filosa and Ronnie Santacroce continue to do a great job managing the pool. And the lifeguards that we get from the school, they do an unbelievable job. So we're hoping that continues.
Especially today, Jim, where lifeguards are so difficult to get, because I know we also help look into semi-public pools, such as your condominiums and hotels and whatnot.
Right.
And they find it very difficult to get lifeguards
Right,
today.
and through COVID, they had a big problem where a lot of people that were doing lifeguarding, which we found out weren't going back and renewing their their certifications.
That's too bad.
Right now, we have a core of kids that are 16 years old, 17 years old, so they'll be with us for the next 2 or 3 years anyways, and some of them come even after when they go to college and stuff, so
Sure, good to
we're
hear.
in good position for that anyways. The disc golf course, we're going into our 3rd year now with the disc golf course. And it continues to be a success in recreation, very minimal in maintaining it. I may need to send a few workers down there every other week just to do some mowing or some trimming for the grass and stuff. But other than that, the maintenance is minimal. We haven't had any complaints as far as, trash or, damage. Very minimal, just minor things that kids will be kids.
Yep.
And we have a disc golf app that disc golf players can use when they go to a course. And it really only accounts for like 30 to 40% of the actual people that are playing. So that tracks it, and then I get reports every year on that. And that's the numbers you see there. 5,500 rounds were posted that were played in 2025. And it also tells you from how many states. So 31 states, people from 31 states have come in 4 countries. So it's definitely doing well. We are looking to possibly expand it another 9 holes through the property that we walked with the conservation to get approvals. But that's just in its planning stage right now. It's definitely being used since we expanded the parking lot. We haven't had any issues with problems with not enough parking because of the trail and things like that. It's been great. The pavilion that the Lions Club donated, gets used a lot down there. So it's really been, nice to see, because our Parks Department isn't technically full recreation. We have the community use and stuff, so to see something like this take on the way it has.
Yeah, and it's fairly new, too.
It's nice, and
Yeah.
it's run by itself, really. We don't have to do much to it at all. When it snows like this, we have people that go out and shovel the tee pads, because they want it clear. Not many people are playing in the depths of snow, but they do, and they put ribbons on their discs. That's how they play in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine when, through the winter. So we have a lot of volunteers that just go out and, maintain it. So that's the best part about it, is very minimal to my department as far as doing the work. We hosted our first local cricket team at Pheno Field Annex this year. It was a sort of trial run. They came to the commission to ask about putting in a pitch at the annex with some netting to protect the trail. The commission voted to allow them to do this on a trial basis. There were no issues reported to me from the police or anything about any type of problems that might occur in bigger events. Basically, they play on Saturdays and Sundays, and they have 2 teams that play out of Milford, and then they have like 8 other teams that are in the league. And it doesn't affect, we laid out the pitch and the fields so it wouldn't affect anything within youth sports or town sports. So the football field, for instance, soccer fields are all outside the playing area, and they're not scheduled on Saturdays and Sundays. So there isn't any problem where we're losing field time for any of our youth sports or anything like that, which is,
Planning, yep.
that was the part of the trial basis. We wanted to make sure that that wasn't the case, and it wasn't. So we're inviting them back again this year. They're actually contributing some money to do some repairs on the field and stuff, and that's going to become a yearly donation by them to help with field maintenance, which will be, a nice addition to the annex because of the work we've done in the last few years with irrigation and, top dressing and seeding. So that field will really, be able to be kept up the way it should be and be used. We hosted a fourth season for the No Fame Games, which is the Celtic strength competitions that they hold. 3 years ago, they reached out to us. They wanted to try it out. They had like 50 athletes compete. They're up to over 200 athletes competing in this now, and it's become a huge draw for the town. But it's a one-day tournament, but all different departments get involved. I know the police were involved, the fire department got involved, and they have anywhere from pro to beginner level. And they go full out. They have kilts and everything. It's full.
Does that look like?
Yeah, so they have the caber toss, the stone toss, the hay bale toss. I've gone down the last few years. It's really something to watch. They really
Stumbled upon it. It was
Yeah.
really something to watch.
and we did have a lot of people down there watching. So, as the years went on, we added bleachers to the outside so people are able to sit. But you can walk right down to the field. They can set up chairs and watch it. So, it's something that we wanted to continue to, do with this group, and they are coming back again this year, which is,
Good.
Nice. Town Park, as you know, we opened the recreation side of Town Park last June. So far, everything's been great up there. We did have a few warranty issues that are going to be addressed in the spring for the court coating. But other than that, we do have the flock cameras up there now that are helpful for any type of vandalism. It's been minimal up there. There's some electric bike issues that we've addressed with the police and put up some signage. And we'll be adding some more cameras up there that will help with the new bathroom buildings. The bathroom building should be done by mid-April, so for the playing season. And that we had an expansion to the back for youth softball storage, baseball storage, and our storage. And it will include a men's bathroom, a women's bathroom, and a family bathroom. And those will be open during the week, during our park hours, so from 6 to 2 p.m., and then during any activities for the high school and youth sports, they'll have access to those bathrooms. And I think it's going to be a huge addition there with the amount of pickleball that's being played there now. The bathrooms are definitely needed. We have had porta-johns there. We've had some issues with the porta-johns, especially in the winters, because the truck can't get into the location to clean them. So we had to have them removed. The recreation there right now is very minimal. There's, no one using the courts because there's 2 feet of snow on them.
Yeah.
But other than the kids just, playing around in it. But those bathrooms are going to be a huge addition, and in addition to that, the addition to the bandstand stage, that was part of the project. Just bringing the stage out another 10 feet to give the entertainers a little more, room up there. If you've been up there during the, when the orchestra plays there, it's pretty tight. When you get 25 people in there, yes. So that's going to be a great addition for them. We also had, in collaboration with the Milford Commission on Disability, they reached out to me. They wanted to contribute some money to something in the playground, whether it be a handicap swing or something else. And in showing them some different ideas, we came up with this musical sensory structures that were installed. They contributed half of the cost, which was $10,000, and the Parks Department picked up the other $10,000, but it includes harmony flowers, harmony bells, flower petal drums, rainbow chimes, and rainbow bongos. And we really got it done just before we had all this snow, so we haven't really had a chance to see the use. But with the snow, you do see the footprints going to it. So, so it's nice to see that, I think they're going to get a lot of use and they add a little, color. You see the pictures there. That's sort of right after they put it in, the ground was frozen, so the wood chips and stuff don't really represent what it actually looks like now. But, it was nice to collaborate with another group in town that was looking to, contribute some money, so. Upcoming for 2026, the No Fame Games, as I mentioned, it's coming back June 13th. The summer concert series will continue to be at the bandstand. Legion State Tournament's coming back to Pheno. So in July 25th to 29th, the Legion is going to host the state tournament. They did it some years back, but that's a good draw, and
Sure is.
it should be a good event. We've been working with the Legion Committee and some improvements down there, some grant money we had, improving like the roofs, and we're going to be working on the press box, included with the upgrades in the bathrooms and things like that. So we'll be ready for them in July. And then we're also offering a learn to play cricket. So I put cricket. I keep saying cricket, I don't know why. But they learn to play pickleball. We had a group reach out to us that wants to do some clinics. They're from West Boylston, and they reached out and said, we'd like to do some clinics, to see how it works out. So we're sort of collaborating with them. Basically, we're renting the courts to them for a low amount of time, because I don't want to take away from the people using the courts.
Yeah.
So we're limiting the time to an hour and a half per session. So an hour and a half, and it'll be all posted at the court, so people will be aware of it, so they're not coming down there and seeing the courts filled and not being able to play. So we'll have that noted, that, to avoid any confrontation there. But I'm looking forward to seeing, families, and, they said probably a lot of families will go down, and, a lot of kids and stuff, so that's what we're hoping we get out of it. And then, some other improvements that we're looking for in the coming year. Prospect Heights, we're looking to do some upgrades up there with walkways and benches. The old benches that have been there for a long time, they've had their due. We've already purchased the benches, so it's just a matter of installing them. Bancroft Park, we're working with the MVP group for some funding to make some improvements there. We had an event there. We invited kids and their families in the neighborhood to come down and sort of give their views on what they would like to see in the park. The kids drew pictures. They wanted tree houses. They wanted playgrounds. They wanted volleyball courts. So there's all different ideas that, just to get that community, input on what they might want to see there. And it's very limited what we can do there, because there's no parking, obviously. It's more of a neighborhood park. So we have to take that into consideration when we make our decisions. And then with other grant opportunities on the horizon, we're looking for potential projects at Vernon Field for a skate park, which is in the process now of getting the plans together and things like that. But the grants will help a lot with that, to take that curse off of the town for, moving forward with that. And then the Pearl Street courts, we're still looking into doing something there with some grant opportunities. And that's Edwards Field. I don't know if you guys are aware of that.
Ridgedale.
Yes. So behind Richdale, that's, and looking through the plans and things, our town engineer came up, Liz, she came up with a plan that actually is labeled as Edwards Field. So that's sort of how we're going to recognize that now. Right now, it's sort of like a transition, so we're saying Edwards Field, / Pearl Street, so people know where it is. But once we do some upgrades there, I think that's what we're going to sort of coordinate that.
Good.
But other than that, everything's been good. I don't know if you have any questions for me, or if you'd like to talk about anything else with the parks.
Yeah, just going to say, too, where recreation in this town, you always mentioned that, too, is the most visible and well-used service that we can provide. And I know the Parks Department makes it very, keeps it active, you know what I mean? And by doing this here, by adding, certain things to the parks and other improvements that'll make it more inviting, is really helpful.
Yeah.
You know, and we appreciate it. Do you expect any, you know, with these parks that you're going to be helping, you know, like upgrading, you know, be it Vernon Grove or Edwards and whatnot, would that be capital projects, or you think you're getting grants?
No, so for the bigger ones, like skate park and that would definitely be, we would need to get grants for that.
Okay.
We already have the money appropriated for the planning, which we're going through now for the drainage and things like that to get it pretty much shovel-ready. But that's comes with a high price tag, so it's gonna take some grants to get to that point. I think we're still a few years out from actually getting to that point, but with the town going for an open space plan to upgrade our open space plan, that's on the horizon too. Matt Benoit's working on that. That's gonna open up a lot of money that the town can go for in grants, so, you know, for recreation. So that's going to be helpful. The other stuff is within our budget.
And I think it was a great thing, too, for the community, that you had the ADA compliant, you know, for the kids. I'm not going to call them toys, but you know what I mean, because I read in the paper.
Right,
You know,
right.
where you had the actual, the committee members there actually helped you and guided you through
Right,
that as well.
and, you know, they had a lot to say in what they wanted to contribute to.
Sure.
They did want a full wheelchair swing. We don't really have the spacing in that park because it's very sort of confined where it's at. But we are looking into another location that might give an option for, it's a full handicap swing. It's just a platform, basically, where a wheelchair can go
Yeah.
on it and, you know, just like a regular sit-down.
And like I said, the more you can do to make it more welcoming, you know, for everybody, you
Right.
know, is even a big plus for the town.
Right. And we only maintain the four playgrounds within town, and that's what we've been sort of, you know, getting to that point where we want to, you know, get these to be compliant with the standard matting that we're using now and the wood chips that we put down. You know, that's our goal, you know, and when we went to town meeting for the additional money that Rick had gotten for the ADA compliancy, that's, you know, that's what our goal is to, you know, try to, you know, help with that in all the parks that we maintain.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jim, as always, thank you very much. Just over the top, everything that you and your department do. One thing I want to touch on, though, and a lot of people don't know this about you and about your department, and you brought it up about the wheelchair accessible swing.
Yeah.
Of course, I attend those meetings when they invite me, and I was invited that night, and you came as well. Not part of your responsibility, but you showed up, which I thought really said a lot to them. And when that came up about the wheelchair accessible swing, no was not in your vocabulary.
Right.
You know,
You like to try to make it work.
And as you know, you were there as I was, there was a lot of discussion back and forth, and you can understand the passion coming from, you know, one of the members whose son is, you know, gonna be using that swing. But, you know, you just worked through it to the point where the following day you started the email process. This is what I'm doing, this is what we're looking into, and that goes a long way, and the general public needs to know that you know, looking at things like this, that night, you know, although the parks, you know, are your responsibility, it's not just a matter of cutting lawn and raking leaves.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other things that you do above and beyond, you know, taking care of the fields, and, you know, when you drive around this community, you just, Town Park, you know, it's over the top. It's over the top, and, you know, I still remember the night that I was up when they opened up the fields at the high school in a lacrosse game, and somebody had mentioned to a gentleman that was there from out of town that I was on the select board, and he walked up to me and he just said, "I'd never see anything like this in my town."
Yeah.
You're so fortunate, and we are. We're very, very fortunate, and again, I just want to say thank you. You know, it really was, it touched my heart to see that when that woman was, you know, she was so passionate about that, you know, you didn't shut the door on it. You just said, let's see what we can do.
Right, and that's why the collaboration's huge. And, you know, to go back to Town Park, you know, that doesn't happen without the town meeting members voting that in.
Right.
You know, and that's a huge part too. You know, the community wanted it, you know, we got it, and now it's being used.
Right.
Are there other people other than residents using it? Yes, because it's a really nice facility. But, you know, and that, you know, going back to the pool, that was a case of the pool, like, oh, well, it's not going to be for residents and this and that. Well, the numbers show different, you know? And it is highly used by our residents. It's just, you know, it's people that aren't aware of that, and that's why I think this is helpful to, you know, come and speak to you guys each year and sort of, you know, let people know that, you know, that this is the case, that we do have the numbers at these places. Because honestly, for all the years I work with the parks, when I first saw the numbers of the pool, you know, back 20 years ago, you know, I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, that many people go to the pool? You know, and I remember growing up and using the pool, but you don't know it, and that's what's nice about, you know, some of the things that we have now, that we're able to report these numbers. And, you know, I think that goes a long way to show that things are being used.
Yeah. And when people bring that up to me, you know, being honest with you, I very candidly say to them, wouldn't you rather have it being used than not used?
Right.
That's what a park's for, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know?
And that's the best part about, you know, even seeing Town Park is, you know, driving by and seeing it full and people using it, you know, all parts of the day. You know, and it was a big bonus for the schools too, because they're using it for their gym classes and things like that, being right there, so,
Thank you,
I
Jim.
appreciate that.
Thank you
Thank
as
you.
always.
thanks.
Jimmy, just to touch on, I know you probably want to do this anyway, but you talked about the pickleball and how it would be set aside for just an hour and a half for different classes. And that it would be posted, that's something that you would post on the town website as well as like Facebook, so that people can look and say, okay, don't go during this period.
Yeah, so in the process, right now, I'm in the process working with IT and Civic Plus, which is our internet connection, in making a civic, in building a civic rec page, which I'm hoping is going to be active by May. That's going to be specifically for recreation. So you want permits, you're not emailing me, I'm not sending you a permit, sending it back, signing it. It's all going to be done online, so it puts it in the resident's hand. And there'll be a calendar on there that they'll be able to, you know, access to see what's on what days, what's where, which is minimal, but for the cases like you're talking about pickleball. But for the time being, until that's up, we're going to have it posted at the site. But we'll also put it on the basic webpage. We can put it on the basic webpage to
Yeah,
let
just
them.
so that someone could glance, and, I mean, I'm assuming that would be, you know what the primary hours are, the
Yeah.
preferred hours for people that play.
Right. And then we took that into consideration too, because I know there's certain groups that go there on Fridays from 9 a.m. till 1. And there's a group of like 15 guys that go there and women that go there and play. And, you know, that's why when I set up these clinics, I put them on a different day. Because I said, I know this is pretty much booked. And they're not booking it, but they're always playing there. And I wouldn't want to take that day away. So I put it on a less crowded day. Not on a Tuesday when there's band concerts, do it on a Monday, do it on a Wednesday, you know, so we sort of spread out the you know, the timing.
Yeah, I mean, on a personal level, I think that your performance and your position is really to be admired. Rather than sit and try to rewrite a job description, it seems like you go out every day and just new efforts, new things to improve things, you know, parks, different recreational facilities. You just go and do it. And I just want to point out that you do a lot of things that aren't necessarily in your job description to ensure that we enhance what's available to the community, as well as that we maintain it. So as my colleague said, it's not just about cutting grass and raking leaves and,
Right.
you know, making sure that things look nice. It's making sure that they're functional and practical for the community, for use.
Right.
You've instituted a number of things. I mean, just the Frisbee golf there and
Yeah.
disc golf and a number of things up in that area. To include something as basic as a parking lot.
Yeah,
So I congratulate you.
I appreciate that.
You've really, rather than wait around for somebody else, you're the guy that does it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, thank you.
So it doesn't go unnoticed. I just wanted you to know that, Jim.
Means a lot, thanks.
That's for sure.
Thank you. Thank you as always.
Thanks, Jim.
Thanks for the update.
Yeah, we'll stop back.
Very helpful.
Very helpful, thanks.
Baby before.
We'll come back in 6 months. Jim. You still have plenty of time. Next item on the agenda, gentlemen, is Town Administrator Notice of Order of the taking of Six Park Terrace, which is aside the police station, which town meeting authorized the taking. Rick?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. In your packet is the actual order of taking prepared by town council. It needs to be signed by you and then in front of a notary, which I can obviously notarize that. It's then recorded in the Worcester District Register of Deeds, notice to all on the title. It's the first step in the process, so I would just look for a motion to approve the signing and recording of the order of taking.
Do I have a motion?
A motion, Mr. Chair, to approve the order of taking for eminent domain, 6 Park Terrace.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That's unanimous. Is there a document for us to sign?
Yeah, I got a bunch of them. Maybe we'll,
Meeting?
yeah, we'll do them out. I got a bunch of other documents, not related to the meeting so much, but for all you guys to sign.
Town Administrator's report?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just 3 items tonight. One, I've been informed by State Rep. Brian Murray that the bill he introduced in the state legislature to authorize the town to appoint a highway surveyor has passed in both the Senate and the House and has been signed by the governor. I have put together a posting, or I should give Kristen actually the credit. The position has been posted. We've received a couple of resumes and applications to date. I hope to have a recommendation for this board at the March 23rd Select Board meeting. Brian also informed me that the bill to regulate vacancies among town meeting members has also passed and been signed by the governor, so I want to thank Rep. Murray for his efforts in securing the passage of both of these important bills for the town. The second item is the Complete Streets Funding Program. We received notice from Mass DOT Highway Administrator Jonathan Gulliver regarding the town's Tier 3 application to Round 2 of the fiscal year 2026 Complete Streets Funding Program. Scott Christofouli did paperwork on this application. We have been approved for $479,923.08. I want to thank Scott for his work in securing this award. He informed me he's going to use these funds for design and construction to narrow Central Street at North and South Bow Streets. Construction will include road narrowing, new sidewalks, curbing, drainage relocation, milling, and paving of Hut Top. He also hopes to use some of the money for the grant for safety upgrades to the crosswalk at the Youth Center, which will include flashing signs, new road markings, and upgraded handicap access from the sidewalks themselves. And the final item is, I did mention to the board, I think at a prior meeting, the National Grid Smart Meter Program. It has now been implemented or been started to be implemented. They have begun installing smart meters in Milford. They will be supported by both National Grid personnel and a third-party vendor called Utility Partners of America. They're one of the leaders in the installation of this type of technology and have been also trained by National Grid to perform the work that needs to be done. The two companies will work together to install all new devices across our electricity territory in Mass. All UPA personnel and National Grid personnel will be identifiable when they're on site by a badge and a picture, et cetera. So people should just look that they will be out and about implementing this program. And that's all I have tonight.
They don't have to enter the property.
No, they do not. No, they
Just
don't.
so people are aware that.
Yeah.
All of their work is on the exterior.
Correct, yes, yeah. And that's all I have
Thanks, Rick.
tonight.
Rick?
The old business.
No, Mr. Chairman, I don't.
I do not have any, Mr. Chairman.
New business, the first item is Guerra Enterprises, Inc., concerning a Class II dealer license. Ray, here is it. Hi, Ray.
Yeah, Ray?
Ray?
Hi, how are you?
So this is an application, Class II dealer license to buy and sell secondhand motor vehicles at 36 Main Street. This is right because the previous use, correct, Rick?
Yes, this site has been used for many years for both sales and repairs. I think it was Milford Collision, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah.
At one point? Yeah.
Do I have a motion?
Motion, Mr. Chair, just like that, Guerra Enterprise did apply to buy and sell Class II. Motor vehicles, all paperwork is in order. When we reviewed it, the application appears to be complete and the licensing requirements in the site, like Tom and Rick just mentioned, too, has been used for many years, that I remember as a little kid, that it was there. So therefore, Mr. Chairman, I move that the Select Board approve the application for Guerra Enterprises, Inc. for a Class II license to buy and sell secondhand motor vehicles at 36 Main Street, Milford, Mass.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That is unanimous.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Next item is a recommendation from the police chief concerning no parking here to corner from pole number 2 to Walnut Street on the odd side of Grant Street. Any discussion, gentlemen?
I have no questions. No questions. Make a motion. Yeah, Mr. Chair, I know this area well, and I agree with Mrs. Calzaloya in this letter, because there are times during when school is getting out or when starting, a lot of the parents want to make sure that their young ones do cross the street properly and all that, and they do have a tendency to park in front of the driveway to block access and whatnot. So therefore, I do move the Select Board approve the installation of a no parking from here to corner restriction at the requested locations, and as recommended by the police chief.
And I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That is unanimous. Next item on the agenda is Felicia Daroca, Inc., DBA Oba Oba Bar, a live entertainment license. This establishment is at 119 East Main Street. I think it was formerly the Lucky Nine.
Yes.
They had a pool, it's just to give a geographical point. And they are looking to add live entertainment. I believe the hours were reserved for me. The hours would be Tuesday to Thursday, 7 p.m. to midnight, Fridays, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. Saturdays, they're requesting Saturdays, 7 p.m. to 1 a.m., and Sunday, 3 p.m. to midnight. I question the 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's their moment of closing. So I would not.
The board could restrict it to 1 p.m.
The other one said 1 a.m. on Saturdays.
1:30.
We go 12:30,
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do 1 a.m. on Saturday. That's, they're
Okay.
closing by the liquor license.
Yep.
Right. So there's about 12.
So, and they have 12 midnight for every other night, so.
Yeah.
Why don't we make it all 12 midnight?
All 12
That'd be my
midnight.
recommendation.
Yeah.
There's-
So I would move that if we approve it, that their request be amended to be 12 a.m.
All nights.
all nights.
Yep.
Because there's going to be a lot of action going on there. You got DJs, karaoke, guitar playing. vocal singers.
Not all at once, I hope.
Whoa.
Yeah, you sing it.
I don't have a
They're
problem.
going to be too tired at 2
I
o'clock
don't
to
have a problem
sing.
with the DJ karaoke guitar playing as long as it stops at midnight.
Right.
How's that?
Motion?
So with that change, if I could have a motion?
Yeah, I move that the Select Board approve the application for Ober for live entertainment licenses, along with the changes that were just made, no later than 12 midnight, as described in the application on file.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That's unanimous. And Rick, you can make sure that that's pointed out to them.
Yes, yep.
So there's a clear understanding. The next item is the town administrator concerning the US Bicycle Route 1 through Milford.
Yeah, this is a group that is looking to work with the police chief to designate a route. It's part of a national effort to expand the U.S. bicycle route system. It's led by Mass DOT, East Coast Greenway Alliance, Mass Bike, Adventure Cycling Association. I did speak with Chief Tassino. He did review the draft map of the route. He did not see any issues with it, and I'm quite confident that the group will do what they need to do. If you look, the support is through Milford, using the Upper Charles Trail onto Mount Pleasant Street, Hayward Street, East Street, South Central, Casey Drive, Roland Way, Beaver Street, and Gordon Drive. So it's part of an effort by the bicycle tourism industry. And again, Chief Tassino has been consulted throughout the process.
Yeah, Landon goes way back. I mean, I was a
Yeah.
police chief, so.
I was going to say, this is familiar to us, or somewhat familiar to, at least to you, Chief.
I
through-
remember
yeah.
when they were first talking about doing it, and they had conversations with not only the select board, but with Parks, as far as the trail.
Trail, yeah. Yep.
Was the initial thing that they were looking to do. So they've come quite a ways. Do I have a motion?
A motion, Mr. Chair, that the Select Board approve the Adventure Cycling Association's request for approval of a U.S. bicycle route through Milford, as reviewed and also supported by the police chief as well.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
And that is unanimous. Next item is the Council on Aging, a resignation from Paul Gallagher, who served on the council for a number of years. He was very, very helpful in participating on the Council on Aging. I sit on that council as well, and I have the utmost respect for Paul. At this time, personal reasons, health, Paul is asked to step down, and the council will present or recommend a replacement candidate. If I could have a motion to accept Paul's resignation and to ask Mr. Valani to send him
Yep.
thank you.
A motion, Mr. Chair,
Services.
to accept Paul Gallagher's resignation from the Council of Aging, effective immediately, and we thank Mr. Gallagher for his service and contributions to the town of Milford.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That is unanimous. Next item is Cultural Council requesting that the board appoint a member to the board. They voted to recommend Kara Barlow for consideration of appointment to the Cultural Council.
Yes, Mr. Chair, motion then to accept the recommendation to approve this member's application for the Cultural Council. According to Chair Goggins, it was the council voted to approve this application. Therefore, I recommend that Kari Barlow be appointed as a member to the Cultural Council.
The actual name is Kyle Barlow Wooding, so that we appoint the right person, and
Yep.
regardless of what their nickname might be.
Okay. Yeah.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That's unanimous. Commission on Disability, recommending the appointment Joseph Amato to the Milford Commission on Disability. We received that correspondence from Julie Gonzalez as chair. And there were other candidates in the talent pool, but they have recommended Joseph Amato. If either of you gentlemen have a
Motion?
Your motion, Mr. Chair, to appoint Joseph Amato to the Commission of Disabilities as recommended by the commission themselves.
I would gladly second that, Mr. Chairman.
It's unanimous. The contract award, the town administrator contract award for the fireworks.
Fireworks, you got to do this early now because there aren't many companies anymore that are out there. Again, I sent it to 3 companies, only 1 quoted. Same company we used prior years, which from the ones I saw at least, I thought they did a very nice job with. It's Ocean State Pyrotechnics. They're out of Hope Valley, Rhode Island. The quote amount is $20,000, so I'd ask for a vote to award the contract to Ocean State Pyrotechnics.
Make a motion, Mr. Chair, that we award the contract for the fireworks display to Ocean State Pyrotechnics of 26A Woody Hill Road, Hope Valley, Rhode Island, for $20,000.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
And Rick, there is a backup date, correct?
Oh, yes, I should have mentioned that. Yeah, the date is, what did I say? July 5th, I believe, and then the rain date would be the following Friday, which date is, what date would that be?
So what's the actual date, Rick?
July 5th. It's actually a Sunday night.
So the
Yeah,
5th
you
is
can't
what?
get the 3rd, you can't get the 5th anymore. I mean, it's just crazy. They do a lot of, these companies do a lot of private functions year after year after year, which are profitable to them, and they're pretty much obligated. And they're, since COVID, July 5th.
12th.
No, is it?
No, it'd be the-
No.
It'll be the 10th, right? It'll be the 10th?
Can't believe I, 10th, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, rain date. Hopefully, we don't need it. Yeah.
You know, I just want to make sure there was
Yeah.
a backup date.
There is a backup date, yes.
I didn't want to pay someone $20,000 and not see anything flowing.
And Mr. Chair, only in New England, we have 3 feet of snow on the ground here today, and we talked about a pool, the pool opening, and also fireworks. So hope that warmed up a little people.
It just shows that we're optimistic.
That's
Yeah.
right, there you go.
Better days are coming.
Gonna end
Better days are
sometime.
coming, folks.
And that's unanimous, the award.
Thank
of
you.
the contract.
Yes.
Thank you.
Town administrator concerning Article 3 recommendations.
Yeah, you have 2 articles that the town planner, Matt Benoit, is requesting the board vote to remand to zoning board.
Oh, excuse me.
yeah.
Yeah, planning board remand.
Yeah.
Zoning board, excuse me, remand zoning bylaw amendments.
Yeah, one removes a certain section and one, and adding a proposed zoning bylaw amendment. One deals with section 2.4.8, the other deals with 2.5, which adjusts minimum lot width to match minimum lot frontage. These will be remanded by you to the planning board for public hearing to be included hopefully on the May 18th, 2026 annual town meeting warrant.
Do I have a motion to remand?
Motion to remand.
Bylaw amendments.
Motion to remand a proposed zoning bylaw amendment to remove section 2.4.8 of the Milford zoning bylaw, and also to remand a proposed zoning bylaw amendment that amends section 2.5 intensity use schedule, which would adjust the minimum lot, as Rick was mentioning, to match minimum frontage, and also to give this to the planning board for public hearings and to include it on the May 18th, 2026 annual town meeting warrant.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
That is unanimous. Now, for town administrator concerning Article 3 recommendations.
Yeah, before you is the Article 3 elected officials recommendation. The recommendation would be for the board to consider 3% both full-time and part-time. I mean, the only part-time person there, I think, is the town clerk, as I look at it. Obviously, we removed the highway surveyor position from this, so that position is no longer included here, because hopefully you'll be appointing by the end of next month. So that's the recommendation to be included for the town meeting warrant.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair, the 3% increase as recommended for COLA increases for elected officials. Article 3.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman,
That's unanimous.
and that's the standard we use, correct, Rick?
Typically, yes, that's what we do. We've had some times in the past where we've done it a little different for part-time and full-time, but the recommendation here, I believe, the COLA adjustment for everybody else. So it makes, I think it makes it uniform throughout town.
Thank you.
This item is invitation to speak. Invitation to speak, anyone online? Correspondence, Milford Retirement Board, supplemental cost of living adjustment. Zach, are you doing that, or?
No, basically, that's the, unless Zach really wants to, okay. Boy, he jumped out of that pretty quick. No, the retirement board, we are required to let you know that the vote will be held at 1 p.m. on March 17th on whether to authorize the cost of living adjustment. Any cost of living adjustment would be effective July 1st, 2026, and that would be for town retirees or beneficiaries who are receiving a retirement allowance as of June 30, 2025. The statute specifically allows for grant a cost of living adjustment up to 3%.
Thank you.
And that's just to notify from Kelly, who's the retirement administrator.
Okay.
The last item is an executive session. The item is McGuire versus the Town of Milford, Worcester Superior Court, Civil Action 2285 CV 01140 D as in David. And we will be going into executive session to receive attorney-client communication, legal advice regarding reasonably anticipated litigation or legal issues, the disclosure of which would compromise the town's position. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion, Mr. Chair, to go into executive session.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
And that is unanimous. Roll call vote,
Aye.
please.
Aye.
Aye. And we are in executive session.
And will not return.